Thank you so much for joining my podcast yet again today. Thank you for joining me in this space. It makes my heart so happy, and I really appreciate it so much. So, thank you. Thank you for all the love I've received, all the inboxes. They've been beautiful. And thank you for all the other people out there who believe in me. Thank you. Um, I appreciate it a lot. All right, so let's dive right on in. This episode is all about tears. You remember last episode I was talking about me being a crybaby? Miss Crybaby here. Hey, how you doing? Um, I have been such a crybaby lately. Like it's been so bad. Well, you know what? Let me take that back. It's not so bad. It just has been an overflow of tears. And I find myself every month when it's that time of the month, I cry more than usual. Um, but I realized that it's okay. It's okay for me to cry instead of like acting like I'm big and bad all the time because tears are important. They're really, really important. And I grew up in the time where, you shouldn't be crying. Don't like you need to be tough. Like what you crying for? Like what are you doing? Stop crying. Stop all that crying. Even after you get a whooping. Stop all that crying. Well, I just got a whooping. So of course I'm going to be crying. What are you talking about? I never really understood that, but whatever. Stop crying. So I had a conversation with my husband and we talked about me crying. I'm just so overwhelmed with parenting. And, he's overwhelmed with parenting. We come back and we talk about our parenting a lot. We have monthly, sometimes weekly meetings about our parenting with each of our kids. Because, they're always doing something at a different time. And so we'll have a meeting about that. Like, okay, what do we need to reevaluate? What do we need to do? Well, this one time, I broke down about one of my middle schoolers just being very pushy. Um, Everything I say, she was just kind of like pushing me out the door, and it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, yeah, okay. I'm just like, like I couldn't do that to my mom. Like if I did that to my mom, like it was not good. So when I got that and I received it from her, I'm just like, this is a joke, right? Like, is she for real? There's no way she could possibly respect me if she's sitting here talking to me this way. Like, this is a joke. So then I remember the kids went to bed and I'm talking to my husband and I'm just like, hey, I am exhausted. I'm tired. And the tears begin to just roll. I'm bawling. I'm just crying. And he said, babe, you know what? Maybe you need to show them this. You need to show them this side of you crying and feeling this pain that you feel. And it dawned on me like, I didn't know that I was even hiding it or just purposely not even doing it in front of them. Like, it wasn't on purpose. I just kind of held myself together. And then once I got in the room or later that night after I finished doing everything, I would break down. So I was like, you know what? That's such a brilliant idea because kids, they don't understand the pain that they bring to our hearts. They're just being kids and they're stuck in their own world. They're not thinking about anything but themselves and they're not purposely trying to hurt us. They're not. I can reassure you they are not. They have a kid's brain that doesn't process like adults. And so there's no way they're purposely trying to hurt us. They love us. That's the way God designed us. The love that you feel when you become a mother to these children and when your children are connected to you, it's like something that you can never explain to somebody unless you actually have it yourself. So they love us, they don't want to hurt us. So always remember that, okay? And I just want to shine some light on the idea that my husband gave me and crying in front of your children. I feel like it's so important to show that side of yourself as well. Because when we go through life with this tough mentality that everything is fine, mama can do it all, they begin to build this mental state of, oh, she's okay, she's fine. And they never even think about you. It's not that they don't want to, but you've put up this, um, what do you call it? This impression that you're never hurt, you're never sad, you're never bothered by the things that they do. And so how would they know anything different? So I was like, dang, that was brilliant of my husband. Let me just say that. Brilliant of him. So, and he's not a crier. So he never, I'm a very emotional creature in general. So um, you'll never catch him do that in ever. But for me, he was like, you the mom, they're with you all the time. They love you. They, all the things. So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So I begin to do that. So most of the time when something has happened, I will shed tears in front of them. I'll still walk around, do my typical chores and things like that. And then they will see the pain that they cause me. Now, do I want them to like sink into a depressed mode, like, oh my God, I'm never good enough, or create this mentality of, um, my mom hates me, I'm the worst, things like that. I don't want them to create a mind frame like that. What I would like to do and what we all should be thriving for is to help your children get to a headspace of, that's my mother or that's my father, and I need to show them just as much respect and care about their feelings and their emotions just like I want them to care about my feelings and my emotions. And then go back and apologize for when I've done something wrong. Because once you feel those emotions when they scarred you like that, you have no choice to build up that mentality like, dang, I feel so bad because I did not mean to hurt that person. Just like we would in any relationship, and that would be the ultimate goal, whether you're in a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend, children's relationship, a friend relationship. When somebody sees the pain that they cause to that person, they could feel that and they're like, man, I didn't mean to hurt this person. I love them so much. Like, there's no, I wouldn't do that. So that's what I mean by implementing that space of shedding those tears in front of your children. It's so important for you to let your children see that you hurt as well. And go and have a conversation with them. Not in that moment, not in that moment. You want to come back to them later on and say, hey, you know what? I want to let you know that you really hurt my feelings when you said this or you did that. And let them know, you know what? I know that you're a kid and I understand that, but I want you to know that I have feelings just like you. And that really bothered me because they're not thinking about us, right? Like, they're just thinking about them and that's it. That's it. That's all. So cry in front of your children. Go talk to them, have conversation with them and let them know what's going on. They can't read our minds. Just like we can't read their minds on how to raise them and parent them, they can't read ours. So go have a conversation with them. Let them see those emotions. Let them feel what you go through. You got to let them feel it because emotions move the whole room. We all know this. So if you step in the room, if there's some negative energy, you'll be like, you know what? Let me exit this room because this energy is too bad for me. If you step in the room like a funeral, emotions are high, people are crying, you cry, right? So you got to step into that space and let them know what's going on with you. Be very open with your children. They need it just as much as they need it just as much as we need it. Okay? So be open with them, communicate with them, and the best time to do that is after the emotions are not so high. Don't try to do it in the mix. They're not gonna hear nothing. They're gonna shut the door and you're not gonna be able to get nothing out. They're gonna do like my daughter did. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm fine. And and not even not be real about it. So really try to reflect with them, try to communicate with them the best as you can. And the more you build those skills to have that relationship with them, to let them know that you're human just like anybody else and you make mistakes like anybody else and you hurt, the better it'll get. The better it'll get. And sometimes it may be ugly at the beginning, you know, and you may be go straight from, you know what, you don't care about nobody but yourself, and it's like, what? You mean well, right? You mean well, but it didn't come off good to a child. They're like, what? They don't understand. They go straight into the mentality of, I'm not enough. Nothing I do is ever gonna make my mom happy. All she do is complain, right? It puts them in a category of y'all being against each other versus y'all being together and being one. And this goes for boys and girls. You have to really be intentional about building that relationship with your children. Like, this podcast is about remaking your parenting, right? So rebrand the whole thing. Take everything that you learn from my podcast and any other podcast you may listen to, any books you may read, and take those things with you. Because every child is different, right? So you have to learn them. You have to learn them and see what they need, meet their need, right? And then be able to navigate. One key thing I would like to dive in on is love. When you go have a conversation with your child, make sure you're filling the love tank up. Because if it's empty, they they won't respond at all. Are you filling their love tank up? Do you even know what that means? Maybe not. I'll talk about that on the next episode. But fill their love tank up, you guys. You got to get to know your children. Teach them that it's also okay to cry. Because you got some children who don't even shed a tear because they've been told since they were young kids, hey, we don't do all that crying. Stop that crying. What are you doing? Stop all that crying. No, I want you a crybaby. You a crybaby. And like I said last time, I am a proud crybaby and I do not care. We are human. You need to release it. So whatever. Do your kids even cry? If you've never seen them cry, why? I would be like, are you okay? I've never seen you cry. And if they cry a lot, embrace it. Let them know it is okay to shed those tears. Because I know some people or some children, they go through life thinking, I'm a crybaby and I hate crying. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry in front of people. But it's like, what's really wrong with it? Absolutely nothing. Let the tears roll. Let the tears roll. And you get up, you wipe your face, you blow your nose because you know your nose start running when you're crying a lot. And let that be. It's all good. Tears don't hurt, you guys. They're beautiful. And when you can look at them like that, you can begin to grow as a mother, as a father, and your children begin to grow. They're going to be like, who is this person? So I said this on a couple of episodes back. If you haven't listened to any of them, I would start from the beginning. But I talked about having that open dialogue and conversation with your children to make sure they're feeling loved, seen, and heard, because it's so important when rebranding your parenting style. Okay, let go to them and say, "Hey, I am trying something new, something different, because I realize that I need to change. We need to change as a whole, as a family. So bear with me as I grow. You may hear me and see me do some crazy things, but I'm here to change for our family. I'm here to do something different. Because I can guarantee you, if you're here in this space with me, God has been tugging on your heart, trying to help you figure out ways to navigate and where to go and where to start. And here I am. I'm one of his people that he sent on this mission to deliver the message. Deliver the message. I'm here, you guys. So if I can do it, you can too. I'm a mother of 6 and I got promoted to be a grandmother almost 6 months ago, and it's a beautiful journey. I have rebranded my parenting, but I now get to teach my daughter how to be the best mother she can. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. When you see the transformation and you see that growth, it's like, ah, oh my God. Like, I've seen my children come to me and give me hugs and say, Mama, I love you. Thank you, Mama. I love you so much. I appreciate the things you've done for me. Okay, so I might get teary eyed, but when you see your children changing so much and you're fighting for them because you see the enemy trying to take them away, and then when you pray and you continue to do God's work, you see that journey of them changing. It's beautiful. Now, I watched this movie on Netflix called Forge. And the way she prayed for her children is what or her son is what I begin to do. And to watch them change, to see God work through them is such a beautiful experience. When you love your children, you love hard and you have to fight hard for them too. Sometimes I look at their sweet faces and I'm just like, you have no idea how much I love you. I would do anything to keep you safe, to keep you out of harm's way, and all the things. But I also understand as a parent that there is going to be challenges that they face in life that I cannot do anything about. That's why praying is so important, because when they face those challenges, they have to have the strength and find the discernment and use their intuition to be able to fight. Are you giving your children the tools to fight? This mind is so powerful. And if you're not helping them build this, how do you expect for them to survive in this world? How? You guys, let the tears roll. Cry it out and pray and ask God to help you renew your mind. Your children need you. They need you so bad. So continue to fight. And if you feel like you're failing and you feel like you've messed up and they're like, 10 or 11, or they're grown and you're a grown adult. I mean, you're in your 50s or 60s and you have grown children. It's still never too late, you guys. It's still never too late. If you can go and you talk to them, because a conversation is always needed, but you have to make sure that you are going to be in a space to receive. If you're not ready to receive anything for your children, if you're going to be defensive, don't even start. You got to pray God heals your mind to let you receive, instead of being so judgmental and not actually listening. You got to be able to receive. So receive, cry it out, be able to talk to your children, receive the message, and then you build off of that. Okay? That's what you need to do. And you can do it. I believe in you. God believes in you. And I am a witness that it can be done. And you will see a big transformation in everything in your life, within you, and all your children's lives. And if you're a young mother and you have young children, I'm not just a young mother, but if you're a mother and you have young children and they're like 2 and 3, still, it's so important to let them see you cry too. They'll wipe your tears away, and that probably gonna make you cry even more. But Let them see that you're not going to always be strong. You don't have to be strong all the time. That's not how God built us. It's actually really unhealthy to walk through life acting all big and bad and strong and never shed a tear. It's very unhealthy, you guys. If you're that way, seek help. Seriously. Because you need it and your children need it. Go be a better you. I wrote an ebook and it's called Know Better, Do Better. And the more you know, the better you can be. So continue to want to move forward, to learn and to grow and take accountability too as an adult. Because some adults don't know how to take accountability for their actions. They blame the kids all the time. Like, what? You're going to blame them for that? What about you? You're not perfect. So take accountability. If you have to lead by example, that way they can begin to take accountability for their actions. That's real, you guys. So take everything that I've just dropped today. There was a lot of bombshells I dropped. Boop, boop, boop. And learn from it. Implement in your life. You take it one day at a time and believe and trust in yourself. And it's okay to even tell your children, I may not even get this right, but I'm going to try. It's the effort that really matters, you guys. And that's what I got for you guys today. Tears. Let the tears roll. Okay, talk. Let the tears roll. Tears don't hurt, you guys. They don't. They're beauty. They're beautiful. Now, I'm going to give you 3 questions. Okay? I like to drop 3 questions at the end so you can reflect if you're a journaler, if you like to journal like I do. I like to reflect on the things that I actually listen to. So I got 3 questions, and I can't remember sometimes. So I'm going to look down and I'm going to read these questions. So the first question is, have you ever cried in front of your children? That's the first question. The second question would be, do you allow your kids to cry at all? Do you allow them to cry, or are you a mother or a father who's like, stop crying? And then the third question is going to be, how would your relationship between you and your children look if you begin to implement the tears? What would it look like? All right, you guys. I've enjoyed this space with you guys. I really appreciate you being here, listening to me, reflecting. Um, and it's just been a beautiful ride. I'm praying for you guys. Just know that I pray. I pray for all my listeners and all the parents around the world because it's needed. We can't do this by ourselves. And when you hear people talk about a village, I'm part of that village. Just know I'm praying for you. Talk to you soon.